Welcome to the Astro Cafe for the week of August 10th through the 16th, where this week we have a solar eclipse in Leo, where our gifts are being asked to be undeniable. I'm your host, Teresa Ann, where I'm going to help you look at the astro forecast. We'll take a look at the wheel, do some wheel work so that you can know where to look in your chart for the different transits and things and what's going on with the sun and the moon. And I will also put a forecast on the screen and we'll break down day by day, and we'll also look at some timelines that are happening, as well as give you some important, powerful questions in a conversation with the cosmos so that you can go out and look at what's happening out there to mirror what is happening in here to help you align to your higher self, your highest path, and your highest destiny. So let's break it down. We're going to start by just saying that the highlight of this week is the moon's going to move from Cancer to Leo to Virgo and to Libra. You can see which houses occupy those celestial beings to know what areas of life might be impacted. I'm going to put a screen on in just a sec, a slide so that you can see what's happening out there. But midweek, we will have the moon moving on top of the sun, creating an eclipse. And it's a powerful one, a 2-year door that is opening. And we will get to that soon. So right now, let's break it down looking at the forecast. All right. So if we look at the forecast, we see that we are still in Leo season, where the theme is making our life up the way we want it. Our mantra of the week: let your gifts be undeniable. And I'm going to talk about that in two different ways: the gifts that are coming to us and the gifts we are here to share, the unique gifts we are here to share in the world. We'll look at our gold ticket at the end to wrap it up. Our gold ticket to help us to alchemize and evolve to go where we want to go. And what do I mean by that? The basis of our work here together is that we are thinking about ourselves on the hero's journey. So you are spirit, you are a soul in this body with this human vehicle that you get to use. I like to call it spirit and space dust, right? So we're on this hero's journey, and we'll have some wounds along the way that we can heal along the way and alchemize them into our medicine or our magic. And that'll help us to know a little more about our gifts and how we can use them to help us on our path and to share within the world, right? We're going to talk a little about astrology, what's going on out there to help us understand what's going on in here, because we are really looking at using kind of some psychology, depth psychology, looking at the different archetypes that we all have within us, just in different ways and different distributions. And so that helps us understand our gifts in the world. And we could also look at our human design body graph, which we will do a little bit later, and our gene keys to understand how our human vessel works so that we understand the gifts that we have and we can use them along our way. Well, I like to think of that hero's journey not just as one loop, but as a loop-de-loop that we keep traversing in our trust fall with the universe, as I like to call it, our choose your own adventure, kind of in this game of life. And in this rendition of talking about astrology and what's happening out there, we're just simply looking at the weather forecast, just like we would look at the forecast of the week to see when is it sunny, when is it rainy, are we going to have some storms, because we might plan differently knowing that. So we're going to look at the weather out there a little further out there, just like looking at how like the tides might impact us, right? If you want to go looking for shells, you might want to plan accordingly to where the tide is. Well, this idea of weekly astrology is we're looking at the patterns out there, the cycles out there, the rhythms out there to get in flow. We are getting in alignment with what's going on out there, and in our soul, like what's in here, right? Okay, all faith walks are welcome here, all wisdom traditions. But the idea here is that in these loop-de-loops that are our stories of our life, we are being the lead character vibe, right? We're being the lead character in our own life and we're creating or co-creating our reality the way that we want. And what happens is along the way, we can create breakthroughs to go to the next level. And what we like to do here is practice being seen by the stars so that we can more understand our unique gifts. And when we alchemize our wounds into wisdom or our pain into purpose or our maybe we're finding like our medicine or our magic, we can use those things to help us go to the next level. So it's not like they ever really go away. Sometimes we're grieving something forever, but the silver lining in it or the gift in it is that we know that that's our path. We know that that's our theme. We know that that's our story. And then we can become the hero of it and be triumphant and ascend to next levels and help others along the way. So we're going to break down into some sharing of the forecast so that we can use it to do just that. All right. So going back to the overview here. I love it. I love it when we start the week with the moon in Cancer. And why? Because it's Moon Day. I won't get into this, but in case you are new here, you'll see that the days of the week, following the traditional Gregorian calendar, especially that we use in the West, you'll see those days of the week there. But for those of you who are less into the 9 to 5 mindset and want to be more in tune with nature, we have the days of the week based on the planets that they came from. If you want to tune in to that kind of energy, and it just helps us at the beginning and the end of each day. We've just mapped out a note here. It never changes. For example, Thursday is always Jupiter day, and here's some ideas of what kind of energy you might be feeling that day. So the top of the chart never changes. The bottom of the chart never changes. Those are just there for your reference. But in this white encapsulated kind of area here, this is what's changing, and it's for this week. So we start with the moon in Cancer. I love that we start in Cancer because the moon is ruled by Cancer. So Moon Day is a Cancer vibe. And so, wow, our calendar that we're using is really kind of in sync this particular week. The moon moves through a zodiac sign every 2.5 days. So that's what's going to be representative here. Okay. So we're starting with the moon in Cancer, and the vibe is let your feelings show what matters. And I really think that that's the way to kind of really start the week if we want to be in flow. Later, you'll see that we shift. Now, I have color coded based on the element that that zodiac sign is ruling. So we're watery here. Let your feelings show you what matters. All right, we're going to dip into the first transit that I'm highlighting. I highlight around 5 transits a week that I've curated that I think are the most powerful to help us be fully ourselves, live the life that we feel we're here for, live and create a life that proves it, right? So we're talking higher self, higher path, higher service. So we can serve the world by being ourselves. Venus is in Libra in opposition to Neptune in Aries as we start out our week. And so we're going to go into the chart and look at what does this look like and what are we talking about anyway? Well, let me break it down for you with a visual. Okay, so we've got Venus and she's in Libra. So you could have an app on your chart out right now or on your phone. You could have a chart with an app and you could be looking at, well, if you toggle to transit, you'll see a bunch of planets on the inside and probably planets on the outside. That's what yours would look like. All of mine are the ones that represent the ones on the outside. So you could look at Libra and you can find Venus in Libra and you could see what house is that in. Now, when we have the higher self hub up soon, you'd be able to go to an astrology house cheat sheet, but I don't have that ready for you yet. Comment below if you want any kind of cheat sheet and tell me what kind of cheat sheets should I put in there first. It will be up in the next couple weeks. Okay, so then we have that happening and it's opposing Neptune. Neptune is next to Saturn right now. Neptune is in Aries. Okay, so what's going on when we have these opposing, right? It could feel like a tug of war, but if we lead with love, if we lead with emotional, mental, spiritual equanimity, meaning we're centered in our values and what's important to us, we're feeling what matters, like we're supposed to, or like what the universe is telling us at the beginning of this week, right? We won't feel it as a tug. We'll feel, oh, this is getting my attention. Oh, that's getting my attention. How do I listen to both? Okay. So, how do I listen to my values and what matters most to me, what I love, right? In the zodiac sign of Libra, how do I live in harmony? How do I live in harmony with this? These are both about love. This is about being in love with life. What house is telling you it would like you to love that part of your life more? It would like you to align to your values more, right? Then we could look on the other side and we could say, well, what else is getting our attention right now as it relates to this relationship between this potential tug of war, right? I know that mine is like my home and my personal life is calling me to something. There's a new beginning in my home and personal life, right? And then I've also got kind of a new beginning that's here. This is in my house of career and higher calling. Those are apart from each other. And so what you're going to be doing is looking at things that are on different sides of your chart and looking at how to create some harmony with them and some new chapter beginnings with them, right? So later on, I'll show you some timelines so that we can understand better some big picture timelines that all of humanity is is experiencing right now. And some of it's like generational. We won't experience this maybe the only time in our life, right? Or it takes some things take decades to move through, sometimes a few years, right? Some a few days. So we'll kind of look at that in a visual way in a little bit so you can understand a few of these timelines that are happening at the same time. All right, so we have Neptune in Aries, Neptune archetype of dreams and dissolving dreams. Dissolving it's about fantasy too. So it's about our dreams and our soul dreams and like what would heaven on earth be like for us, and we're wanting to dissolve and turn that into reality. Saturn's there to help, and this is happening in the area of the sky that is the archetype. So the backdrop is Aries, which is the ruler of house one. So this is around identity. So you may feel your identity shifting if you are a person who is evolving. If you're consciously evolving, you know probably some of these themes that are coming up for you, and you're trying to figure out how to navigate that. And I'm here to give you some tips to help you to navigate with more alignment and more ease. So we've got Neptune in Aries. Aries, new beginnings, new chapters, new identities. Time to walk through the closet and see what needs to go. Time to listen to what feels like a soul yes, let the soul knows go in all the areas of our life, right? It could be our cupboards. It could be what we're saying yes to in our calendar. It could be around relationships, right? What are we investing our time and energy into? Because whatever that is, it's going to keep expanding. We might need to do a little switcheroonie so that we can get in alignment with our values and that which we love, because the cosmos is asking us to align to that now. Okay. All right. So you can see where in your chart you have Aries. What house is Aries in? It's hinting of new beginnings, new identity, new chapter. And then values, what we hold most sacred, what is beautiful to us, what we love, what house is Libra in. All right. Okay, so I'm not going to take as much time breaking each of the transits down, but I will move a little faster now that we kind of see how that's going to work. All right. So if we go back, and you know what? I bet I was not, let's see, was how I was sharing to see if you even saw me, if that was too hard to see. Okay, no, we're doing fine. All right, now we're going to go back in and share. Okay, now you can see again. Perfect. Okay, so we have two more transits that I want to talk about that happened at the beginning of the week. If you're new here, know that the first line under a transit is my takeaway translation. I'm a former elementary school teacher, curriculum director, assistant principal. I like to help teach and I like to break them down to elementary level. So that's what I'm doing. What you love meets what you've imagined. Basically, what that means is I've taken key words from each of these archetypes: Venus, Libra, opposition, Neptune, Aries, a key word of each. So I've translated my sentence. If you know about the archetypes of these zodiacs and celestial beings and you want to put down your own translation down below in the comments, I'd love to see yours. The second, first is my translation in elementary words or terms or level. The second, as a professional international coach federation coach, I know the power of forward action. I know the power of living in the present moment and then taking that moment and seizing it to bring our future to us. So, this is a forward energy or a forward action or a forward tip from this transit. Let real love outshine the fantasy. So, time to check in. What are my soul dreams? Let me not be on autopilot. Let me check in because that's the cycle that's going on out there to help me see and hear in here. Am I tuned in and aligned to my soul dreams? Am I saying yes to what I want to say yes to and no what I don't? Because love, again, what I truly love is outshining any fantasy I was holding about what I think I'm creating in my life. Because what I love is starting to show up. If we can pay attention to the nuances, to the things that come on our path, listen, be mindful, tune into our intentions, we can see the dreams coming into reality and being made manifest. As we continue on, we'll see some more helpers in this. On Tuesday, we're in Leo now, so we're letting our radiance lead. What's lighting you up? That's where to go on Tuesday and Wednesday, says the universe. The cosmos is the organized universe. Venus in Libra, trine or helpful relationship with Uranus and Gemini. I won't take the time to break them all down this time. I'll keep moving. But the translation is steady devotion welcomes an unexpected spark. The takeaway, let something new move through your steady love. So, again, we're talking about love, love in your work, love for yourself, love for a partner. What would any of those feel like? What have you been imagining they would feel like if you're not experiencing them yet? This is a week, and it's been a couple of weeks of dreams coming true. Now, last week, we talked about building a divine structure that your dreams can stand on. Who did that? Who did that, right? And the last couple weeks, it's about speaking our dreams into existence. It's about feeling our dreams, right? And so if we've been doing this work, we've been more conscious about what we're putting out and what we're attracting in. And we may have been seeing these kinds of things come in. And so if we wanted to look real briefly at where some of this might be showing up in our work, we said that Venus is in Libra, Venus in Libra, and it was trine Uranus and Gemini, trining in helpful union with Uranus in Gemini, the beginning of Gemini. So you could look at what house is Uranus in at the beginning of Gemini. It's calling for breakthrough. It's calling for new ideas might be coming to you, new ideas. Are you updated with your communications, with your language, with your messaging, with the thoughts in your head and the language that you're speaking? It's time to upgrade your soul operating system, perhaps. And it is wanting to do that in a positive relationship with what you love. What you love is guiding you and calling you, says the universe, right? Says the universe. All right, so next we have Mercury in Leo is opposing Pluto in Aquarius. Again, those tug of wars, right? So we've got the tug of war between Mercury that is in Leo. Mercury kind of looks like the antennas on top of the head, the Leo and the Mercury, which you can't see very well because I'm screen sharing, but try to find those on your chart. You can look here. Mercury and Leo, look for where those are together in your chart. Mercury is in Leo somewhere, and it is opposing Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto sometimes looks like a circle um, being held in an arc, and sometimes it looks like a P. Mercury and Pluto is opposing Pluto and Aquarius. Our voice or our message or our talk meets collective power. So, are our words and our ideas and our communications, are we in alignment with, our highest, but also what's the best outcome for all? Are we being an individual self and letting our voice be healing for the all? These are some kinds of themes. Speak the truth that the room needs to hear. And honey, I will say that I think that the reason that we're to speak the truth that the room needs to hear is that we're in that room. We found ourselves in the room and we're wanting to kind of break out of the room and get out of the box and move on to the next trajectory, like in the loop-de-loops, cornering like we're on rails. We're staying on track, on course to our highest path. And when we do that, we get helped. We serve ourselves. And it helps us to get through and break to the next level. And so when we're letting what we love lead us, the feeling of what we love, and we're doing that in a devoted way, right? Because we know that midweek, the moon moves into Virgo, and we're letting our devotion do the work. So if we've been feeling what we love, we know breakthrough is happening, we know some answered prayers are coming when we are tuning our thoughts, tuning our mindsets, tuning our words and our communications to the highest we can imagine as we're dissolving the fantasy and letting the actual dream come into reality by spotting what we love coming in, saying yes to the yeses and no's to the no's. Oh, that all ain't nothing but a thing, right? I mean, it's not that we're only doing this in the out there, but we're all doing it inside, right? So, like, who feels like they're discombobulating, right? Like, who feels like they're a puddle? Who feels like they're overwhelmed? Who feels like you're bottlenecking? Like, you can't do a thing and there's shit everywhere, right? Okay. So, we're out of sorts because we're being sorted. We're being sorted. Like, what's your new Harry Potter hat? Like, I don't know. Like, we're going through a new identity. We're going through a new chapter as a collective, but we're also doing this in our own lives. And when we do this, we can make positive impact in the collective if we are a person who feels like we're here to serve, right? We serve ourselves as we activate the gifts to help us go to the next level. And then we can help others along the way who get magnetized to us, right? Because we're all one, we have unity here, right? And so we help each other and we all work together. And that's kind of the feel here. So you might know if you belong here or not when I speak about those things. All right. So where are we going next? We are going midweek, folks. We're going midweek. Midweek, we have a huge happening. It's a new moon, and it is a total solar eclipse moon. And I wanted to talk a little bit and show you like what is going on there, right? Like what's going on. So what's going on is as we have the moon who is moving, right, from Cancer to Leo, and then going into Virgo and then into Libra. Well, midweek, it's going to go right over the sun, right over the sun in what is called the ecliptic, almost like the way an elliptical moves. So the ecliptic points to the furthest most points that the moon hits, that the moon crosses. And we have had that happening in Pisces and Virgo. Pisces and Virgo, Pisces and Virgo, Pisces and Virgo. And then there was a little Aquarius and Leo action. And then we finished out the Virgo Pisces action. So, you know, if you've been following me the last couple of years, we've been talking about using our devotion, highest vibes of Virgo, to create our dreams to come true, highest vibes of Pisces. Now we're shifting humanity's destiny story. That's where we've been for a couple of years. Now we're moving into Leo Aquarius. So the idea is if you look at where your north node, like the upside horseshoe, and your north and your south node, the downside horseshoe, the south node shaped this way, it's already holding what you came in with, but you're here to grow toward the north node, almost like it looks like a balloon maybe rising, 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 rising. That's the north node. And your south node and north node are somewhere in your destiny story. Well, humanity's destiny story right now is on the Leo to Aquarius trajectory, Leo to Aquarius story. So any children born right now, they're going to have their north node and their south node there, and we're there for a couple months. So you can go into your own chart and you can look at what house do I have a Leo in? What house do I have Aquarius in? Those are perhaps being activated as it relates to humanity's destiny, right? Okay. So if you want to know more about that, comment below. We can do some more work around that in some future offerings. All right. Speaking of future offerings, I and I also think that really what's happening right now is a lot of a big takeaway is how do we be fluid and let the dreams come into reality while we hold this structure? So last week when we were told, hold the divine structure that your dreams can stand on, right? Part of it is in this, while simultaneously we have Leo being the lead, the confident lead character of your life, who allows themselves to be radiant and to shine and shine your gifts. While you're doing that, Aquarius, as the unique individual you are with your unique gifts, while serving humanity, while thinking of the best outcomes for all. So that storyline, right, is happening while we're while we're being ourselves, creating a new identity and creating a new chapter if we've been following the astrology of the last year or so, right? And so now what's happening is that eclipse is happening on that axis that I talked about, right? And so the next eclipses that happen will be there. So we'll be in that, it's called kind of, some astrologers like to think of it as like a cosmic drain. So we're going to be called to let go of the lower ego-based, lower frequencies of Leo and of Aquarius. So if you've been hiding your gifts and dimming, nope, it's time to bring it up. If you've been putting your attention and shining a light on things that aren't really your highest destiny, no, let's call it back, right? Let's shine our attention on what would truly serve us, right? If we're thinking not in alignment of the whole, but just of ourselves, it's maybe not going to come to pass the best way, right? If we're hiding the uniqueness of who we are, probably not going to help, right? So a bold new chapter opens, says this translation, for real this time. If you're noting the people coming into your life, the ideas coming into your life, the breakthroughs happening, the divine taking the wheel, the real stuff is wanting to come. Are we listening, folks? Are we listening? When our nervous system feels like it's all jumbled up, are we doing the thing anyway, or are we slowing down and taking care of ourselves? Are we listening? Are we surrendering control? right? If we walk into the closet and it feels like, oh my gosh, it's chaotic, there's too many decisions in here, I have decision fatigue and everything feels old, let's clean it up, right? Clean out the cupboards, right? All right. Next, we're letting devotion do the work while we're in this, right? We're in this. And in this drain, it's almost like this energy we could practice that things will come up that don't feel like they align. We don't necessarily need to make a list ahead of time. We can just be paying attention this week. What comes on the path that feels like a no, let it go, right? And if it's a yes, yeah, let's say yes to it because the real stuff is coming if we're listening and if we've been intending and if we're in alignment. So we end the week moving into Libra. And so we're letting harmony rise from our center. And we're able to do that if we know who we are, right? The more we know who we are, what our gifts are, what our destiny map looks like, so that we can rise to the occasion, make the choices that are going to help us live it. And the backdrop story we can see in our birth chart and our human design again we can learn more about the gifts of our sort of vehicle that we're using as our human instrument, and the gene keys can help us dial in those gifts at a highest level of consciousness, right? And so if we know those things about ourselves and the life we are here to create and are consciously creating, then we are in our center and we have a lot of clarity. If we have a lot of clarity, we're not spending a lot of time in confusion. So if you'd like to dip into some of those gifts, list in the comments what you'd like to see. Some have requested that we do some more work around destiny mapping. Can you help me map out? I know you have some visuals to map out your destiny using our birth chart or our human design or our gene keys. Yes, tell me what you want to know first and we'll do it. Now, speaking of letting me know what you want, I got some requests this morning and it's why I'm posting this late. It was like ring, 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 ring. All of a sudden I saw my phone. So many times today, my phone has lit up with people that are following that have needed help. And one of the things I want to do with my devotional structure that is the structure that my dreams can stand on is I want some fluidity. I don't want to feel like I'm at a 9 to 5. I want to be able to serve people as they show up. And I'm learning how I can best do that. And one thing that happened today is people have been messaging me, calling me, texting me. I haven't had a couple of you who got on a group call. I had no warning. I didn't know it was going to happen. They just showed up. Two of you just showed up. Hey, can you talk? I got so and so on the line, and like we need help moving through the stuff, astrology stuff. So I was like, yeah, and I'm like, wow, this is great. I was thinking of having like a higher self hotline, and like here you guys are calling me direct. I had the thought a couple weeks ago, I didn't even share that idea, and someone calls, it's like hotline, hotline, right? That hotline bling. Like, should we start this? Like, tell me below in the comments, like, should we start a higher self hotline? Like, what does that look like? How do I know when to be available? Right? Like, we'll figure it out. And I love it. But talking about leading with our gifts, right? And like using our voice to let visions become one. Like I was actually helping walking people through how to create their vision today, walking through how to be the next rendition of themselves, how to be when the nervous system is going crazy. Like, how do we navigate all of this stuff? And so I was doing that today, and taking a break to do that, helping people in real time because it's what I wanted to do. And I believed my destiny would want me to do that and that something would come of it. And look at this, right? Those people who called in even served by being themselves and listening and calling. So that was amazing. All right. So I think that as we break down the week and we kind of I want to end on this gold ticket of what I think are the takeaways to help us really kind of alchemize this week. But before we do that, I did want to share just a couple of timelines that you might want to take some screenshots of. So I have two timelines. One is a little shorter term. The next one's a little longer game. I had this up last week. I've added to it. So last week we showed the lunar nodes are happening. So we've got the trajectory of Leo to Aquarius and rising into those archetypal frequencies, letting go of what doesn't fit in those. And then we have Saturn that's in Aries. That's happening till the 26th of December. So that's happening a little bit, not as long as that last one, which goes through March of 2028. But Saturn is helping us, asking us to create that divine structure that holds our dreams, right? And we've got that going through December of 26. So all the way through the winter, like let's keep creating that structure for ourselves in all the areas of our life that we want our dreams to be able to be contained. Are you creating the container? Are you ready? I asked myself just a few weeks ago, am I ready for my sacred partner to walk right into my life? Am I ready for the next rendition of my work to reveal itself? Am I ready? Am I ready to live a life that feels so balanced that I'm spending so much of the time that I want to be, right? Harmony, relationships, love. I'm spending time with my people, with my family, with my friends. And I'm still being able, with the tug of war, to live the next rendition of my life work, where I'm impacting more people, but I'm spending less time because I want the freedom to spend time with the people that I love, right? So I am being shown all the pieces are becoming real and dropping right in, meeting me on my path. You too? I want to know, are your dreams coming in? Have you met the people? Have you had the synchronicities? Have you had the ideas drop in, right? It is your stage to shine being the lead character of your story through August 22nd of 26 for Leo season. And then I've added that Venus is in Libra. So we're recalibrating what we value. We're tuning in again. In the big picture of these happening, the core of it kind of right now, what do I value the most? Because maybe I created my dreams or my vision board or my to-do list or my goals a while ago. Do I still want do I have I had limiting beliefs that would make me think I can't have them yet? Like, where am I with all of that, right? Now, onto some bigger timelines. This is like a bigger arc, but it would have like not even fit on the screen, right? So I've just added them as an overview. So these are longer lasting than those. These would be a bigger arc if we had a big poster to scale. So if those arcs that I just showed you would be like here, then we'd have way bigger than the Zoom screen would be these 5 arcs with a big gap and space between those because these are longer lasting, slower planets in movement. This one a little closer, not as much because we have Jupiter and Leo now through 27. So we've got a whole year to go that would arc over that around about the same time as those the ecliptic portal that we talked about. Jupiter is in Leo, and we've got Saturn in Aries still happening through the 28th. So we're expanding when we be ourselves. It's a naturally expansive time. Jupiter is the archetype of expanding. Jupiter is naturally expanding what it is that we're putting our energy toward. That Leo is ruled by the sun and it's at the center, right? All the other planets revolve around it, is our story. Well, do you have everything revolving around you in the universe you're creating for yourself, in the life you're creating for yourself? Is it in alignment with what is at your center and your core? That's what the universe is dialing up if you're dialed into your destiny, and that's what's supported right now, says the translations of the cosmos, right? Saturn and Aries saying, be a devotee, be disciplined, be a disciple, be a follower of your higher path, your higher service, and you will be supported. Let me know how it's going. We have Uranus in Gemini. So archetype of breakthroughs, of new paradigms, new ideas, new ways of seeing things, new things dropping in your lap, new answered prayers coming in our mindset, in our ideas, in our communications, whole new upgrading system. We could just be upgrading our whole soul operating system, which I believe acts like a human GPS. We put out the thoughts, we feel the feels, and in comes the magnetizing to our toroidal field, right? It's basically asking us, where are our thoughts? Are they calibrated to our true desires and what we love, right? What are the emotions? And if we're putting so much on our plate that it's so much to hold, our nervous system can't handle it, and some shit's gotta go. What's most important? Let it stay. Let it stand, right? And we've got Pluto in Aquarius, which is a regeneration, a revolution, a redoing of all the things, do over. How do we fix all the things? How do we start anew? What is sustainable that goes forward? What is not that does not? That goes through 44, January of 44 in Aquarius. The moment that lasts all the way through 44, 20 years of a moment, 20, more than 20 years. I don't even know. You guys do the math. I'm dyscalculiac. But this whole storyline, being the unique individual you are in service to and in harmony with the all. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going. We'll end before I tell you the golden ticket real quick to just say, I think that if we want to go deep in our charts, it might behoove us to look at where's Leo in our chart, because that's where the big full moon eclipse is, the drain. What wants to go out? Well, what just wants to go out? What's no longer serving? What's old? What's not going to get us to the next rendition, in the hero's journey as we're cornering like rails and going to the next phase of our service, of our story, of our epoch. And so you can see here what this person might be finding. Out here is the outer stuff. Here's our eclipse. I made this this to be on the 12th, on the day of the eclipse. Yours would look like this. Toggle forward to the 12th. You'll see this. You'll also see Jupiter. Jupiter is conjunct someone else's Jupiter. Someone's having a year that's lit, right? And their words are, and ideas and communications are aligning with who they are. Yeah, big time lead character vibes for that person. Okay, then I think that we could pop in also looking at our sun, because Leo rules the sun. I thought it might be good this week to really tune into the essence of who we are. Our sun sign is about the essence of who we are. What's in our soul? What's the essence? And if we look at our gift, we could look on both sides, our personality and our design side, our conscious or the day we were born sign, and our unconscious, 88 days, 3 months before we were born on this side. This side is the one that's going to look the same or correlate to your birth chart. So if you want to use that one because it's correlated to your birth chart, you would also be able to find then any of those things where you were looking at, ooh, that planet's really speaking to me. Ooh, that planet or that zodiac sign is really speaking to me. You could go find the correlation or the gate to any of those planets and zodiac signs, and they would show you then the actual gifts you have. So if you were really like, whoa, that Venus stuff and like really connecting to what I love and what I value, yeah, I want to go there this week. Check out your Venus gift. It will tell you the bells and whistles in your human earth suit that can help you to connect with it, right? And if you don't even know where to go because there's so much, I say just dive into your sun, dive into your conscious sun, this essence of who you are in the lead character vibes, right? All right. I'm a 31, which is leadership gate, which means I listen to what the people are telling me they need because I've done a lot of things. I've been around the block a few times, right? Like I'm almost 6 decades in, right? And so anything that I've already done and I can show you how to do that, great, right? So, but I do that on request. So tell me down below, what rising sign should I give a special video to? What cheat sheets do you want me to put first in the higher self hub? Do you want me to have a higher self hotline where you can just call and like, or like an Astro weather line, Maybe there's like a higher self. I've gotten kind of two requests. Which one should I do or both? A higher self hotline where you'll just tell me, blah, 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 this is happening in my life, and I'll fire back with a question, a powerful coaching question that your higher self needs to answer. Not you, baby. You got to do it through the lens of your highest. That truth has got to answer the question for you. Would you also like a hotline, like an Astro weather hotline? You could be like, "Hey, this is what's going on with me. Why is this happening? Where should I go on my chart? Should I have some open office hours where I do that? Should I do it on demand in some other way? Like maybe is it a call hour that we come on a call? Do we want this more fluid? Like maybe it's like in the hub, there's a place to ask your question, and then I get a notification, oh, someone has a question, and then I just go in right there. Doesn't matter what time it is, right? Fluidity to let the dreams come through. All right, up here you can see 20 degrees Leo is where the moon is happening, the Total Solar Eclipse. Check that out if you want to. Check out your sun gate. Those are some possibilities. Okay, we're going to end real quickly with the conversations with the cosmos. Here are the powerful questions that I have curated for you for this week. What gift have you been hiding that's ready to be seen? Leo is asking you. Where is real love asking you to release an old fantasy? Libra's asking that. What love has come into your life? Because it might be time for you to get with that new paradigm and let the devotion of that love lead what's happening. Maybe it's no longer a fantasy. It's an old fantasy, honey, because the dreams are becoming real for some of us, right? Okay. So, how does love want us to serve that real dream that's coming in? Or if yours is still fantasy, the dream hasn't met you yet, how are you going to let love lead you to it and it to you? Third, Leo's also asking, what truth are you finally ready to say out loud? Say it out loud. All right. Some going deeper spots are here if you want to check those out to go into your chart. The gold tickets this week, the gold tickets, they are on the Astrocast page. I will just read them to you. It's feel what matters. Feel what matters. And I'm talking about this part that's on the Skybridge map, the bridge that helps us to become the version of ourselves we want to be by the end of the week if we want to flow with the cosmos and the natural rhythms that are out there while we're on a bridge of also manifesting our dreams into reality as we're being who we need to be. Second, besides feeling what matters, I believe are the golden tickets to alchemize, to raise your consciousness, to make it where you want to be by the end of the week. And that's really not a linear thing, right? We're doing this with the construct of a week, but we're doing it with the reminder of the planetary days. And if something is happening on a certain day of the week, I think we're all empathic in this room. I think that we're all probably highly sensitive beings in this room. We can feel not just when somebody's face to face with us, we can feel them when they're coming in the door, when they're on the other side of the room. We might be able to feel them when they're incoming, right? And so we don't have to take these. We take it with a grain of salt that something is like a certain day of the week. No. Now we can just think of it as all this week, right? We don't need to get our undies in a bundle of like, oh, this thing is happening today. And no. That's not what this is. That's not what this is. So the gold ticket, feel what matters. Let devotion lead and catalyze. What are you truly devoted to? You are devoted to it so much that it will help to keep you on your path. It will give you the guidance. It will give you the wisdom of when to take a break. When you're devoted to it, you could ask it, whatever it is, and whatever your spiritual supports are. It will guide you. It will guide you. Pray the way you pray about the things you feel called to, right? And it will happen for you depending on how strong your faith and belief is, right? Let devotion lead and catalyze. Ooh, I want to know your prayers. Highest path. Okay. It's the ticket to stay. Stay on the rails. Stay on the rails. Try to feel in each moment, yeah, I'm on the rails to my highest destiny. Or this, ooh, nope, that's a detour. Right? Like where do I go? And it might not be what we thought. We might get surprises. Is the surprise a detour distraction that takes me to my destiny and brings it to me? Or is it one that I shouldn't direct my energy toward? Right? All right. Speak your soul dreams into existence. So that is what I have for you. I'd love to hear below any of the things that I mentioned. It really helps if you subscribe because then you'll get a notification of the next videos. And I'm going to be adding more videos. It won't only be the Astro for the week. I've gotten a request for 2 or 3 rising signs. So those are going to follow this one probably in the next 24 hours. So stay tuned. If you subscribe, you'll get a notification and you'll know when I have something new that will help. Please let anyone know who might benefit from this. Please share the video if you think it might help them and let me know what you'd like to see first in the soul or in the higher self hub, which will be coming soon, where we'll have an astro lab. We'll have the astro weather in there in the forecast. All these other things that we'll be creating together on your request. We'll have the Astro Lab, a Human Design Lab, and the Gene Keys Lab. All right. All right. Be well, my soul family. Sending much love and devotion.